Hello and welcome to this quick training that goes over your new WordPress website. Thank you so much for choosing PGM to be the ones that you partnered with for your new website. This is going to be a quick overview, and by quick I mean probably 25 to 30 minutes of all the details you need to know about your new WordPress website. So we are on your website right now. First thing we're going to do is access the backend. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the website URL, and then anytime you want to access the back end of the website, you're going to put after the .org backslash WP -admin. This is universal for all WordPress websites, WP standing for WordPress. Once you do that, you're going to be taken to a login screen. It'll ask you for your username and password that I've sent in the keys doc. For me, it didn't ask for that because my device is recognized and WordPress remembers this device so they don't have me log in. But just so you know, you will see that when you try and log in. So we're immediately taken to the dashboard here. The dashboard is your main hub. You can actually go ahead and customize all the different information that you want to be shown on here. So for example, right now it has a widget showing your GiveWP donations reports, your activity, a quick at a glance, and your Yoast SEO post overview. If you ever wanted to update what you're seeing here, you would go to the top to screen options, click that, and then these are the different elements that you can choose from. So let's just say we don't want the at a glance, the activity, but I do want this other Yoast widget. We can put that here. You can also drag these around and put them in other boxes in case we want this side to be all Yoast and this side GiveWP. So that's just a quick overview on the dashboard. There's a couple different areas on this left-hand black bar menu that we're going to be going through today. We're going to be going through the posts, media, pages. We're going to go through your GiveWP donation platform. We're going to go through the plugins area, users, and Divi. If you have any questions after this, please feel free to let us know, but we're going to go ahead and dive right in. I'm actually going to start with the users section right here. So when you click on users, this is the area you're going to go to whenever you want to give access to someone else so that they can access the back end of your website. They'll have their own individual login so that any activity that they have on the back end gets recorded appropriately. So to add a new person, you just go to users. You can see all your users here. And you would do add new user at the top. And this is where you would put in the information. For username, this could be for us, let's just say it could be PGM support. It could be the person's first and last name all together, but I tend to just like doing your email address. So we'll do access@paulgregorymedia. And then you just take that same email address and put it here. First name would be the first name of the person, their last name. You don't have to put something for website. You can go ahead and glaze over that. This is where you can generate a password for that person. You want to make sure that you copy and paste that password and then send it to them. So whenever they're activating their account, after they get an email to this email address, they still need the password to activate their account and then also to change the password if they'd like. So make sure that whatever is generated here, that you copy that and then you send that over to them. This box allows you the option to send the new user an email about their account. So it just kind of depends, honestly, what you would like to do with that. If you want them to know that they now have access and to get a notification, I would just go ahead and keep that checked. But let's just say you're doing just a quick ad for somebody. They already know that they'll be having access by the end of the day. You can just uncheck that if you don't want to bother sending a message. And then under role, this is where you would give them the correct permissions. So they've got a bunch of different ones. Let's say that you have somebody that works in finance and you just want them to be able to access your GiveWP online donations platform. You could do GiveWP Manager, and that would give them the only permissions being for that plugin. Administrator is full admin privileges, and then there's a bunch of different things in between. So you just click what you want, and then you do add new user. Once you do add new user, that new user will show up right here. Now let's just say that we wanted to remove a user that we already added. You would just hover over and click delete. Let's just say that we want to change somebody's role. So let's pretend for a second that Brent, we don't want him to be an administrator anymore. What you can do is click edit, and that will bring up that person's user account. So if we scroll down, you can see, first of all, that usernames can't be changed. So just make sure that you keep that in mind whenever you're creating a username. We can also see that this is where the role is. So you can do that drop down, and you can just update it right here. If you scroll down as well, one other thing I want to mention is that if you wanted to put in a profile picture, you could. This is where you would add that in. If you wanted to, let's just say there's been some security breaches and you want to allow the user to set up a new password, you could go ahead and click set new password and it will reset it. You could also send a reset link in order for them to reset their own password. And you can also log out everywhere. So if there was a security breach, if you click this button, then any sort of device that might have saved the login information for this user account will get logged out. So just a couple things I want you to be aware of. Any updates you make here, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom, click update user, and then your changes will be saved. And that is the users section. Next, we're going to go and look into the plugins. Plugins is a fancy way of saying that these are apps. These are applications that we use for your website. You can have as little or as many as you'd like. And so as you can see here, when you go to plugins, you can see all the ones that we've currently activated and downloaded. If they're activated, they are highlighted in blue, and you'll see an option to deactivate it if you want to. If they're not activated, but they're still showing up here, then that means they were installed. But if it says activate here, that means they're not currently being used on your website. They're just kind of here ready to be activated whenever we want them. So you can see all the different plugins here. If you ever wanted to go in and add a new plugin, I'm just going to remove this because we don't need that. You go to the add new plugin area. And let's just say that we want to do a new 301 redirect plugin. You could search for the name of the plugin here. And then once you do that, you would click install now. Once it's installed, it'll take you to a window asking if you want to activate it, and then you would go ahead and activate it. And that is how you add your plugins. Okay, the next area that I would like to show you is the Divi module. There's just only a couple areas here that I want to point out. Everything else has already been set up for you guys. But one area that I do want you to be aware of is this integration tab. So whenever you click Divi, you can go to the integration tab right here. When you click that, that is where you can access the header and body text areas so that you can add pieces of code. So for example, this is where we've placed the ADA widget pixel that allows you to have that accessibility panel. So that's where we put it here. So if in the future you had a Google Analytics account that you wanted to add into here, you can see even right here it says that this is a good spot to put in tracking for Google Analytics. You would just take that pixel code that they give you, come to the integration tab, and just paste it right here. Any updates you make similarly to the users, you'd save at the bottom, and then it will show that your changes have been made. And that's the integration section of the Divi plugin. Alrighty, the next area we're going to take a look at is your media library. I know we're kind of going all over the place, but I promise there's a method to my madness. So your media library is exactly what it sounds like. It is where every single image, video, PDF document is kept. So if I wanted to add a new image, this is where I would drop it. You can either click the add new media file at the top, and then drop your files in here. You can select files to open up your Finder app, or if you're on desktop, any of your folders. What you could also do is if you have the image pulled up in a different tab, you can also just drop it straight into the grid and it will upload. One thing I do want to show you here is how you can link PDFs. So if you had, for example, the family handbook, if you wanted people to be able to download the family handbook, what I would do is upload the PDF of that handbook to your media library, as we've done here. And once it populates, you can click it, as I did, and you'll see the name of the document and this file URL. So if you click the copy URL to clipboard, this will copy this link so that if you want to go back to the landing page you're working on and put a button in for people to be able to download the handbook, this is the link that you would add to the button for people to be redirected to. And I'll show you an example of how that works. But first and foremost, I just wanted you to know where all these media files would live and where you would find that file URL if you wanted to link out to PDFs. Alrighty, so the next area we're going to take a look at, it's going to be really quick because I don't think we've got any posts going on so far for your website. We have like a sample one right here. So posts is the area that you will go to if you ever want to create a blog in the future for your website. We're big fans of that because blogs are a great place to do unbranded content strategy. And that's really helpful for your organic SEO rankings. So just something to keep in mind if you were wanting to do that in the future. A, we could help you, but B, here's how we would go about inputting that. You just go to add new post at the top and put in all the information that they ask of you. So it'd be your title, the actual copy that you have, the keyword that you want to focus on, and then over here on the side, you can select any specific categories. You can create categories. You can set a featured image, which the featured image is the image that will pop up whenever you share it out. So on Facebook, whenever people share articles, you'll usually see like a big box with an image on it. That's chosen for a reason, and this is where you would place that. You do set featured image and it will actually just take you right to your media library. Once you make all those updates, you would then publish. Or if you're not ready to publish just yet, you could also click Save Draft at the top. So that's how you'd go about adding your blogs. Again, if you have any questions about that, you want to dive into that further, or you'd like us to help you get started, please let us know. Okay, so we've got two more areas that I want to show you. The first one being your pages. So pages is a big one. This is where we're going to look at each landing page, and I'm actually going to go through a sample of how you could build out a couple new sections on your page. If there's any really big landing page edits that you have for your website, please feel free to let us know. We can go ahead and get those changes made pretty quickly. But if there's small things that you just want to add, like a small section, a little bit of text, a button, if you want to make edits to a landing page, I know, for example, I believe it's under the Who We Are page that you have a section about your annual reports. Eventually, you'll want to update the dates of those and add new reports. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that right now. So the first thing you would do is go to Pages. Pages is where you'll go if you want to add a new page, for example, which you could do at the top here. However, what we would recommend in order to keep the same overall layout and design of your pages, we would actually just recommend you duplicating one of the pages we've already created. So as you can see, these are all of the pages that are on your website. You can see the 7 that we've designed for you, which includes our homepage. And you can also see some of these little donation pages. If they have the word donation in the gray right here, then that means that they were pre-populated from your GiveWP plugin. So Educare West DuPage is your homepage. That's why it says front page right there. So to start that, we see that whenever you hover over one of these pages, you get a couple different options. So really quickly, before we go into practicing building out new elements on your page, I want to go ahead and show you some of the structural elements to each page. So you've got your edit option, which is the option you'll choose whenever you want to get into the back end of a certain page. We also have this quick edit option that when you click, you can make some just small edits that don't require you to go right into the back end of that landing page. So if I wanted to update the title, I could just do that here. If I wanted to make this a password protected page, I would put the password here and then you'd click update. You can view the page if you just want to look at it on the front end, or you can clone it. So that's that duplication function that I was mentioning before. If you want to create a new page, I would just clone a current page that has a similar layout and look that you want your new page to have. So now we're going to go ahead and dive into the edit function. So we'll use that who we are area as our example for today. So I'm going to click edit. And there's two options for you to be able to build your edits and your revisions on your pages. So this is the back end of the landing page. Every single landing page's back end looks like this. And you'll see to start that we've got this really interesting blocked structure for your Divi Builder. This is basically, there's different views that Divi offers you in order to easily update your website. This is the wireframe view. So this basically shows the bare bones of the page and how it's being set up. So if you were to hover over, let's say, this text module and click the gear icon, you'd be able to see the text and be able to edit there. However, we know that depending on the length of the page, that might be really hard to find every single option. Plus, as we are all visual learners to an extent. I'd like to say that I'm very much a visual learner, and so this kind of a format, especially for a normal to large page, really doesn't work for me. Couple things you could do to remedy that. You could go over here and click this desktop view instead to view all the different edits. You could also do that for tablet and for mobile. But what we would recommend doing, which is what we do a lot of the time, is we just click this button here that says build on the front end. Whenever we do that, it's going to take us to a completely front end of the website view so that you can make edits right as you can make edits and see those edits, I apologize, as they happen right in front of you. It's a little bit easier to view everything. Okay, so as we're scrolling, you can see when I'm scrolling over certain sections, a couple different colors and bars keep popping up. So this is, again, going back to that structure of how a landing page is designed. The first overarching, umbrella that you have is an actual section. So this is going to be coded in blue. The next thing from a section, so every single section will need a row. A row is the green bar that you see. Within a row, you need at least one element or module, and that's those gray bars that you're seeing right here. So modules will include your text blocks, graphics, icons, images, videos. Those are all technically called modules in Divi. And then the section and the row is kind of like the structure to help build out the layout of the page. Now for each of these, you'll see that there are similar little icons here that you can click. So I'll click right here for an example. This little cursor button is exactly what it looks like. These are all pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go quickly through them. This allows you to move the module around. This one right here is your settings icon. And this is where you can update the different elements of that module. So for this one, I believe this is a blurb. This is the technical term for this module that we have set up. So if I want to update the name of it, you do that here. It has a content tab, a design tab, so that gets more into like the colors, the size of the font, all that kind of stuff. And then more of your advanced tab. If there's any sort of custom CSS codes you want to put in for that module, or if you have a class that you want to put in there, that's where you would put these. This little icon with the 2 squares is your duplicate module, so that easily allows you, when you click, to duplicate that. You can always Command Z as well if you make an edit that you don't want, or Control Z depending on the device that you have. This button here is saving the module to your library. You don't have to worry about it at all. And then this is obviously the trash can that allows you to delete the module. One thing that I do want to highlight under these little additional options, that's that 3 dots icon here. If you click that, there's a couple areas here I want you to be aware of. Disable and enable. This is a place where you can easily update the responsiveness of an element, a row, or a section on your website. So for example, if for some reason, let's do a different example. We'll go back down here. We'll go to this annual reports tab. If there was a reason where we did not want to show any of the annual reports or be able to link to those, what we could do is go to the additional options, go to disable, and when you click that, you'll see a mobile icon, a tablet icon, and a desktop icon. This allows you to very easily choose which viewpoints you want that element to be disabled on. So if I just want this to show up on desktop, but I don't want it to show up on tablet or mobile, you would do that. Conversely, if you wanted it to show up on mobile and tablet, but you don't want it to show up on desktop, you would click desktop. And whatever view you're looking at the time of doing this, so for us, we're in that desktop view. So when I click that desktop is going to be disabled for this module, it kind of grays out the module. It's still there, but this is just a nod to you that this module, while you can still view it on the back end, it's not going to show up on the front end. I'm going to enable that again. Another thing that I want you to just be aware of with this is that this is a really cool style setting, formatting. Whenever you're doing anything with Google spreadsheets or with a Google Doc, you'll see that they usually have like a format button that you can use where if you highlight over something, click the format button, and then click over a new section, it will give the exact same formatting options like the text, whether it's bold, italics, the size, it'll all basically duplicate the formatting for you. That is exactly what this copy module styles button will do. So let's just say that the annual report section, Command Z. Let's just say that this is in red and I want to be a new text that I added to be purple. We'll just do that now. So let's just say I'm going to make this purple. So heading text. We'll go here. There we go. H2 tag. There we go. Let's just say that I want this to be purple like this one up here. So what I would do is go over here, go to that additional options, click copy module styles. And then I would go back to additional options on the new module. And now you'll see that there's a paste module styles option here. And when I do that, it reformats the exact same formatting options that the previous one had. So that's just a cool feature that I really like. I think it's very handy if you're doing some major updates. Okay, so as you can see, if we were to hover over, usually you can see like a little plus mark button. This allows you the option to add either a new module if it's gray, a new row if it's green, or if we scroll down here, a new section. So it'll either be orange or blue. The reason that this is orange is because it's a special section. So you'll see here if I wanted to add a new section, it will first ask you if you just want it to be regular. If you choose the section to be regular, then that color will be blue. If you want a specialty one, which just allows you a little bit more flexibility in how you lay out that section, then it'll show up in orange. But let's just say that I want to add another text bubble. So what I could do is hover over here and add this plus icon. And whenever you do that, it shows you all the different modules you can choose. And we've got a lot of them. So we've got an accordion, we've got a button. We'll show you how to do that in a little bit. A little code module where if you wanted to like embed a form, you could use this code module and then place the pixel code there. A divider, We've got an image, an icon, a number counter even. There's a bunch of different areas that we could add here. So we're going to do the text. So I add the text. I put my content here. This is my text. And then you can go up to the top with design. Since this is a paragraph, which we know because whenever we hover over it, it says paragraph, right? If we wanted to create, make it a heading, you just choose heading 2 and it makes it bigger. Design, I want to update the design. Well, I know that this is a header 2, so it's not going to be under text, it's going to be under heading text. And it's not an H1, it's an H2. So if I go here, then all the updates I make here will reflect for this piece of text. So we want it purple, now it's purple. We want it to be all caps, now it's all caps. We want to center align it, it's center aligned. So this is where you would do all of that. I'm going to go ahead and just exit because we don't want that. We'll go ahead and delete that one. If you want to add in a new image, you do the same idea. Click the gray module addition button and we would go down to image right here. And then it gives you the option whenever you click over to pull an image from your library. So let's go ahead and just pull this one. We would upload it. And we like this image, it's great, but it's a little bit big for this space. So what I'm gonna do is go to design. I'm gonna go to sizing, and then I'm going to reduce the width here. So I'm gonna go to width, and as I'm bringing that down, you'll see it starts minimizing the image. Now, if I want to align it differently, if I want to center align it or right align it, you can do that here. But this is where you can control how big that image is. We're going to exit out because we don't want to keep that. The last module I want to show you that I think you'll be using very frequently is the button module. So you do that same exact practice. We click button. And then this is where you can put, let's just say, for example, that family handbook that we were talking about. Now, this is where you would put the link for that button. So I'm going to actually go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and magically enter that URL. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you if I wanted to link that family handbook PDF. I would go to the dashboard, media library. I'd look for our new media. There it is. Copy URL. And then when you go back to the page, you just copy and paste that exact link. Now let's just say I want to make sure that this button has the same look and feel as my other buttons. You'd go to that design tab, and this is where you can change that up. If you wanted to make it center aligned, you do it here. If you wanted to, let's see, do the button. Use custom styles for button. Yes or no. So no will keep it to be what the typical formatting is. But if you want it to look different, you'd toggle the yes on, and this is where you can make that button bigger. You can change the color. If you wanted to give it a background color, you would do that here. That looks ugly, so we're gonna go ahead and remove that button. But that is how you would go ahead and add that in. And then just so you guys know, when it comes to your annual reports, we'll use that again as an example because I know that's probably going to be the first area you're updating. So if you wanted to update your financial reports and add your 2022-2023 year-end report, you're going to hover over to that module and click the gear icon. And then whenever we're in here, you'll see this is the tabs option. So right now, annual reports is under, or I'm sorry, your year-end reports is under the annual reports tab. So you can see your tabs here. I'm going to click the gear icon for annual reports. And then this shows all the text that's living in here. And we can see that this is where all the linked reports are. So I would just do something very similar that you're seeing, 2022-2023 year-end report. I'm going to press enter. Sometimes it likes to make this difficult. There we go. Okay. And then you just want to make sure you link it with the correct document. So in order to update the linking, you highlight over it and you click this insert edit link icon at the top. You'd remove this, so press delete. I just press OK just to make sure it's fully gone. I would hover over it again, click that insert link, and then after you upload that new document, so let's just say that this is the family handbook link. Let's just say that I uploaded the new year-end report into the media library and grabbed the URL. You'd place that URL here. Target lets you know, do you want it to go in a new window or not? We don't, so we'll just click OK. And then we can see a new 2022-2023 year-end report. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that now so that it doesn't save. There we go. And then if we go back, which we can go back here, financial reports and forms, that allows us to make any sort of updates here as well. So you would do the exact same thing that we just did with the annual reports. Whenever you're done making any of your updates on the page, you always want to make sure that you click this green check mark here. It will show that that has been saved, but you also want to click on this purple circle here. And when you do that, you get another display of options. So you just want to make sure that you click save right here. And while that's saving, I want to show you a couple different things. So this gray area shows you all those different views again. So if I want to look at the wireframe view, I can do that. I can switch into mobile, make sure my mobile responsive options are showing up correctly, and then going back to desktop. We've also got, this is very handy, this is a editing history. So if you want to revert back to a previous version, you've been working for 30 minutes and you don't like the new updates you've made, but you don't want to keep hitting Command Z over and over and over again, you can also go into editing history and find where you want to revert back to. So that's a very cool feature as well. And once you're all done, you click save. You have to click this or else nothing will save. And then once that's done, you go to the top and you click Exit Visual Builder. And when you do that, it will just bring you to the front end of that page. And we can see it all here. So that was going into your pages as well as going into how you build out elements on a landing page. Okay, the last area that I want to show you is your Give WP donations platform. I know Paul actually already went ahead and did this video, so I'm going to go and insert that at the very end for you guys to review. But that is overall a little bit of a taste of your WordPress website. We're really excited that you moved over to WordPress. We still believe that this is the best builder in terms of your SEO and your overall marketing strategy. This is the best host to be having. So thank you again for letting us work with you on this project. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. We are always here to help you. Thank you and have a good day.